Social media has contributed a lot to every person's life worldwide when it comes to building relationships with others across the globe. However, we can't hide that many adverse effects arise as this form of communication reaches many. And one of those potentially harmful issues surfing the platform is catfishing. Creating a fictitious character or false identity on a social networking site to prey on a specific victim is known as catfishing. This activity is very frightening. It's better to practice searching or visiting honest sites with legitimate information from genuine people like us at Aquarium Store Depot. Yep, you heard it right. We at Aquarium Store Depot provide quality information from legitimate professional fish keepers in the industry. And since we're already talking about catfishing, why not talk about the kind of fish with genuinely beautiful features like no other? Suppose this makes you sit on the edge of your chair. In that case, you have to stay with us until the end of this video, because today we'll be talking about the true identity of a catfish, and the top 10 great ones that will never fake the remarkable impact of having them in your tank. Welcome back, fish keepers! What varieties of freshwater catfish are available in my local store? If you're a fish tank fan or are just starting, you may have this question in mind. Luckily, we have sorted out which catfish you should try, and which ones you should avoid if you need more confidence to handle one in your tank. But first of all, let's make ourselves aware of what the catfish is. Due to their distinctive features and bottom-dwelling habits, freshwater catfish are preferred to keep in aquarium settings. These appear to be fish with lengthy whiskers sticking out from their faces. These are technically called barbels, and they aid catfish in smelling their surroundings as they search the muddy and murky substrate for food. Would they be suitable for my aquarium? The answer to that is yes. While certain catfish species assist in cleaning up leftover food and garbage that accumulates in the tank's bottom, others consume algae. However, not all catfish are suitable for all setups. We'll learn that certain species require mature tanks, while others require specialized ones. And to finally understand which catfish you should try, let's get on with the top 10 great catfish. Starting with the Corydoras catfish that you probably already know. Because there are such wide varieties of Corydoras, they are the most popular aquarium catfish available. These fish are schooling and highly active near the tank's bottom. To locate food, they trace back and forth across the front of the tank, while using their barbels to sift through a sand substrate. Corys do not intentionally consume algae, thus they cannot help with an algae problem. They may also live very long lives. Some have been known to survive past the age of 20. Second on the list is the Otocinclus. Without a doubt, ottos are among the most active algae eaters. These same social fish have a voracious taste for algae. They've been found to remove the most bothersome algae from tanks in just a few days. But this can become an issue when enthusiasts try to introduce Otocinclus catfish to a young aquarium. Ottos are more challenging to maintain than anticipated. Because they only eat plants, they have a high demand for algae and other greens. Additionally, they tend to be timid and perform best in more prominent schools with other calm fish. A 10-gallon tank is suggested because of their size, although a 20-gallon tank will keep them alive longer. The picture-perfect Pictus is our next great catfish. A stunning species, the Pictus catfish has iridescent scales covered in black and white patterns. These fish have a catfish-like body with a flattened gut, large barbels, and a prominent dorsal fin. Despite being a bigger schooling fish that needs a large tank, they are relatively easy to keep in an aquarium. Although one of the largest species, they are friendly to community tanks as long as their tank mates can outswim a hungry catfish or are bigger than their jaws. Going on to our top 4 catfish, meet the Bristlenose Pleco. The Bristlenose Pleco, often called the bushy-nose pleco, is a well-liked, easier-to-handle substitute for the regular pleco. These plecos get their moniker from the small barbels that cover their faces. They resemble other pleco species in appearance, although they remain considerably smaller. Although bristlenose plecos are calm fish, they can be aggressive towards other members of their species and fish that resemble them. They ought to be the sole bottom-dwelling species in the tank unless there's enough room and places for other fish to hide. Having the upside-down catfish will flip your sadness into happiness if you're feeling lonely. The upside-down catfish does swim backward. Let's take a look at the bizarre PBS video above. Although they are made similar to other catfish species and have similar colors, these unusual fish like to swim with their mouths pointed upward. As a result, they are frequently seen near the water's surface, looking for and devouring food. The upside-down catfish likes to be in small groups of at least 3 or 4 other fish, since it is a schooling species. Alberti may sound new to your ears, but let me show you who this 6th catfish is. The Alberti catfish, also known as the high-fin Synodontis, is one of the less frequent catfish species seen in aquariums. It boasts some of the largest barbels you've ever seen. In actuality, this species' whiskers are the longest among all the members of the genus to which it belongs. The calm Alberti catfish likes its area and is known for being quiet. Hobbyists have successfully kept multiple Alberti catfish together, however, this should only be tried in bigger tanks. Remember that they should only be kept in tanks with bigger fish. Our next great catfish on the list is one that they call glass, or Cryptopterus vitraeolus. The glass catfish checks the boxes for a catfish that doesn't reside at the tank's bottom, and a fish that doesn't resemble any other tropical fish species. This fish's bones, internal organs, and lengthy barbels are all visible due to their total transparency. These fish live in a tranquil environment and enjoy each other's companionship. Glass catfish prefer dark lighting, much like regular catfish do. Additionally, they're willing to consume everything that will fit in their jaws. Geez, fish keepers, make sure that the tank mates are carefully selected. Twig catfish is another excellent catfish on the list. The twig catfish, a master of camouflage, got its name from how much it resembles a piece of bark. It's difficult to believe that this kind of fish is a real catfish because they're long, slender, and have pointed noses. In an aquarium, twig catfish may be somewhat wary. Therefore, they do best when maintained with other calm fish in low light. Twig catfish may be kept in couples or small groups to help them take center stage in the aquarium. Although omnivores, twig catfish are primarily herbivores and require algae and a diet high in plants. Asian stone is our 9th catfish that feels great to have. The Asian stone catfish is ideal for nano or pico freshwater aquariums, since it is perhaps even more hidden than the twig catfish. Once established, these fish are exceedingly tiny and primarily dormant. They barely reach an inch in size and spend their time on muddy and sandy bottoms looking for food. Keeping these fish is more challenging than maintaining catfish of other kinds. They come from waters with high dissolved oxygen concentrations, which the aquarium must imitate. Water parameters might also be harder to monitor and manage because they're frequently housed in smaller aquariums. And for the finale, let's meet the Bumblebee Catfish. The Bumblebee Catfish might resemble the Bumblebee Goby, which should not be confused with it. The primary distinction is that the Bumblebee Catfish have a physique more resembling that of a catfish, with barbels poking out of their mouths. Finding Bumblebee Catfish for sale might be challenging. They are quiet little fish once they're in a tank. Since they are mostly insectivores in the wild, eating ants primarily, they can be a little more challenging to catch than other catfish species. They can adapt to a wider variety of live, frozen, and freeze-dried alternatives in the aquarium. At last, we now know the list of catfish that you can opt to add to your tank. However, not all catfish are made equal. Because of their enormous size, most catfish species are inappropriate for aquarium environments. Let me introduce you to several fish species that the typical hobbyist should stay away from. Coming first on the list is the redtail. Because of its enormous size, it is thought that the redtail catfish is the monster fish that caused the Cabral Santos II to sink in the Amazon River in 1981, drowning its passengers. The redtail catfish is undeniably one of the most alluring catfish species that may be kept as pets. Yet most aquarium owners find it impractical to own one. Hobbyists need a sizable setup with robust filtration and carefully selected tank mates. These fish have a reputation for attacking other fish that try to enter their region. Tiger shovelnose is the second catfish you should avoid. The name of this species of fish comes from its stunning color, which includes a silvery body and narrow vertical stripes running from the head to the tail. Despite being smaller than the enormous redtail catfish, the aggressive tiger shovelnose catfish requires much more space. Although a single catfish may theoretically be housed in a conventional glass aquarium, it is strongly advised to only keep them in ponds. Paroon Shark or giant pangasius came third on our list. A fish that resembles the Mekong giant catfish in both look and origin, the Paroon Shark, is severely endangered. Sadly, these fish have been overfished and gathered for the aquarium trade, where they are sold when they're still relatively young. They are undesirable for the home aquarium because of their size and because they get pretty agitated in small spaces. They thus bump into walls, hurting themselves, which might result in an infection or even death. And lastly, the common pleco or suckermouth catfish. Common plecos are sometimes sold as youngsters when they're just a few inches long. They'll swiftly approach 10 inches, which may eventually grow to be 2 feet in a short time. They are omnivores who won't hesitate to be the first to take any accessible food that enters the system, despite having the mouth of an herbivore. They may also become quite territorial, especially with fish of similar sizes and shape. And that's all the list of catfish available in the hobby you should buy or avoid when planning to purchase one. Catfish come in a variety of sizes and forms. Numerous calm schooling fish species ideal for the community tank are now widely accessible thanks to the aquarium hobby. If you're thinking now, where on earth can you find the guidelines for caring for this kind of fish? Feel free to visit our official website at aquariumstoredepot.com, where the care requirements and the preferred tank setup of catfish are posted. Also, remember to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, fish keepers. Keep on thriving, and we'll see you around.